Breakfast with Bob and Brother Paul.
Poncho Man bringing us in 2013 edition of Breakfast with Bob and Paul from beautiful Huggos, live on triathlete.com. Sponsored, of course, by Monster iSport, the athlete's headphone. Our next guest, who this summer just crushed Challenge Roth, had probably the greatest race I've seen him have. Mr. Dirk Bockel, the legend from Luxembourg.
Thank you. Hey, have you ever heard that one before? That's your new moniker. That was good, Babbitt.
You know what? That just happened. Nice. Dirk, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me again on the show.
No lederhosen. What the hell?
I know, we're a different country, so
yeah,
we'll keep that for Bavaria.
So, you ready? How you feeling?
I'm good. I just came over from Tucson, just here for a few days now, trying to get, back in the Aloha style. Everything is good. I'm healthy. I had a little hiccup after Roth. I had a little knee injury there, but now everything is great. I'm feeling good, and everybody says I look way too relaxed. I don't know what that is, so I shouldn't be relaxed, I guess.
Yes, you should.
Yeah, that's a good thing. That's
the right thing.
Absolutely. Being relaxed.
One of the things I noticed is there's no broken bones. Last year you show up and you got a broken hand.
Yeah, I got a little scratch mark here. This is when you try to change a tire with a tubeless tire and you don't have no levers with you. You take your skewers and then you rip your finger nearly off, but hey, it's not broken, so we're better than last year. So.
Exactly. Oh, so talk about last year, because you were really fit going in, and then you basically broke your hand, so you couldn't really grab a water bottle. I mean, it compromised your race.
Thanks for reminding me of that little nightmare.
Yeah. That was after we chat. No,
you also want to say something about my glorious swim performance with like 3 minutes down?
Yeah.
3 minutes with one hand.
With a broken hand, that's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I heard I brought some people into trouble because I used that splint and I shouldn't have. But, geez, man, I was so handicapped using that thing, and well, I still made it out of the water.
Yeah.
And the race still top 10 is good. But not what I was looking for last year. I have to. Yeah, it was all damage control, and the mental state that I was in after that incident. That was my problem last year.
It's hard to when you're not 100%. It's hard to stay in the.
Well, if you're not in the leading pack in the swim, you have to work your butt off to get there. And once you get there, it's good. You're there, but you're done.
You're pretty much toast.
Yeah, that's what happened to me. And then, even though in the run the hand didn't bother me, I started walking, and that should not happen.
Right.
That's
so.
But I came back and
37 years old, and you're better, right? You're going to be 38 in about. Wait, are you going to be 37?
37.
You'll be 37.
He's 36 now. 37 coming out. He's like aging him, Babbitt.
You're gonna be 37 on the 18th.
That's correct.
All right. So actually, we have a birthday present for you in a little bit.
Ooh,
yeah, I know.
Impressive. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. You've been in the sport now for, what, 24, 25 years?
Yeah, it's 25th season.
25 years.
Yeah.
And you're better than you've been. When I look at the splits from Roth, and you're going, what, 46 for the swim, 4:15 bike, and a 2:48 marathon, 7:52. That's better than anything you've ever done.
Holy cow, that was the race of my life. This is what I'm looking for in this sport career, to have one of those days. And I had it, and actually, I was really trying to have a great running performance, and coach kept yelling at me. I told you after the race, he kept yelling at me, you can do sub 750. And I'm like, geez, we got a 12-minute lead. So don't you stress me. I'm done, So, and then I celebrated. So actually I ran 47, which is for me the highlight of the race, actually.
Yeah.
And but the celebration was worth that minute, and I slipped down a couple of spots in the overall time and whatever. But that minute gave me so much back, for what I live for, what I work for, and it was so worth it, So
yeah, you want to celebrate a performance like that. When you have a performance like that in the same year that you're leading up to Hawaii, a lot of people will it's twofold, right? On the one hand, it's got to give you tremendous confidence, and you've got to sit there and go, look what I've done, look what's now possible in Kona. On the other hand, some people will say, oh, Dirk put it all out on the line at that race in Roth, so how can he possibly do that again in Kona?
Well, how is Ineko going to do that twice and not trying a third time?
Yeah, exactly.
I know it's all the talks, but it's all that big hype before our biggest race in the year, and I guess everybody's prepared. Everybody has their backpack of personal issues, and nobody talks about it. Some people say it, I had a knee injury, so I didn't run for 4 weeks, but I'm flying now again, so it's great. And, this is life. I mean, I believe a professional athlete is never going to be 100% at the start line. So with all the little issues, we try the best optimal performance that we can prepare to be at the start line. And, I do my job, and well, hopefully it's going to be enough,
So I look at the Ironman experience here in the last few years, 7th, 8th, 4th, and 10th. When you finish 4th and have a race like that going 8-12, you get everything, okay, now I've progressed, 7th, 8th, 4th, now I'm ready to win the race. And I'm assuming that's the type of preparation you put in before you broke your hand.
Till that hand thing came, right?
So how tough is it to go back there? For this
well,
year?
mentally, last year was my 4th place, and I'm back here now to improve that. So, for me, that 10th place, it sounds arrogant, right? Top 10 Hawaii.
No,
crappy
not at all. Not with
here.
your,
no, but I understand
your history.
Yeah, of course, I always want to improve, but it's also a dangerous thought, when you're running out there, and maybe you're running in 5th instead of 4th or 3rd, you know, and then so you actually drop a spot, and then it's like, then you start thinking, oh crap, I'm not better than last year. What am I gonna do? And so you got to free yourself from all that. I mean, I was just speaking at the Executive Challenge meeting, and they all want to know about their times. Like, can they do their typical times? And I say, no. I mean, this is just for us professionals. This is about your spot, your ranking.
But the time means nothing.
I mean, if it's hot as hell, then we go down a couple of more minutes. You know, and it depends on the swell on the swim. It could be 2 minutes up or down as well. So I try to just give it all on Saturday, and I personally hope at least a top 10. That's the bare minimum I want to come home with, and but that's already a task,
So when you look at that progression, that 7th, 8th, and 4th, and now then the 10th, obviously the broken hand, the issues that you had on the bike, I look at the marathon and I see that progression going from 257 and then in the low 250s.
You're smart,
but then that 305, that to me is all nutrition on the bike.
If you walk,
like not being able to.
If you walk 7 minutes, or actually standing 7 minutes, I slipped from 5th, and now we're talking your 4th and 5th place. So I slipped into 5th, and then I started walking. And then I started stopping, and then Alicia was there on the side of the road yelling, and saying, "What are you doing? You're 5th. What's wrong?" So I stopped 7 minutes, and then I ran. I think it was in 13th when I started again.
But do you feel like the stopping was a result of the nutrition issues on the bike, simply because you can't take a bottle?
No, I nearly stopped
hand.
to get those bottles. I mean, I lost time there to get my nutrition in, but it's such a crazy situation that you find yourself out there, and the least, how should I say that? The moment when the hand really wouldn't matter is the run.
Yes.
Well,
but that's where it came out. All
those
negative thoughts that I tried to suppress for 10 days. And so, but hey, enough of that negative crap.
Right. But again, when you look at the progress to those low 250s, the hand, the issues that you had last year, to me, the big thing coming into this race is 247. And again, with the celebration and everything else. Your run is where it needs to be.
It improved. It's still Hawaii, so there are different times here in Hawaii, but it's improved, and that's absolutely the key element what I was working on the whole last year, and well, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but that's what that's what you had to do, and you've done it, and so now you have that weapon.
Now, what would it mean to you, to your wife, to Luxembourg for you to win this race?
Wow, that would be huge. I think gonna have dinner with the Grand Duke and the Duchess, and I think
he'll pick up the tab.
I hope so. I will be sponsored by at least 3 different banks.
Yeah, there you go.
Man, I might go into politics or something. I don't know.
So it'll be big.
Yeah, it would be huge. I mean, Schleck Brothers. Have you ever heard of them?
I've heard of them.
I've heard of them.
They will be forgotten.
Cycling.
No. Guys, sorry if you watch that now.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, it would make Luxembourg very, very happy. It would make me personally and my family very proud. This is one of my dreams. This is my career dream to be on the very top spot here. So if that happens, man, it's gonna be huge.
We talk all the time about the wind and the heat and the conditions, but to me, it's always what makes this race different is the competition, because there's so many more guys, right? When you're in 6th, 7th, 8th place and you want to move up, you got to pass some really fast guys, and it makes it really difficult to change position. Is that, from your perspective, is that what separates this race from the other races? Or is it, as a bigger
most
guy,
of the races,
the condition's a big part too?
Well, absolutely. I mean, it depends on the weather. It's pretty mild this year, I have to say.
Yeah.
But race day, it was last year the same. You know, we had 5 mild days, and coming race day, boom, no clouds and hot. So conditions, one thing. The competition, of course, as well. I mean, all those guys. I mean, if you look at the start list, I mean, you know, 3 guys, I would say, well, I can beat them for sure. The rest, wow, you know, it's a lot. But, you know, like I said, 5 people are sick, they don't tell you. 5 people have been injured, they hardly trained the last 4 weeks. 5 people are going to have a mechanical, 10 people have a mental issue. So it leaves us 15 people to deal with at the end. You know, that's it's very brutal and honest, I know.
No, but it's true, because most races are like 5 guys.
And then it's Hawaii, so some people, you know, are here for the first time, like Bevan I just saw.
Yeah, Bevan Doherty,
So it's going to be interesting to see how he deals with that. And then there are people here that have been racing their whole career, everything based on Hawaii. So they have the pressure, they're getting sick of training on Ali Drive and stuff. So it's a big mix. I'm not looking left and right. I do my own thing, and it's Hawaii, it's special. But it's also the hype before, you know. So actually this year, I cut out a lot of appointments just to be, you know, be a little bit more relaxed, having a little bit more time for myself, and it's been good so far. So
yeah, and talk a little bit about that. It's difficult. It's always easy because you know what's going to happen. You know what it's going to be like race week. You've done it time after time after time, but you find with a lot of athletes, even though they know that, they still sometimes succumb to it. How hard is it to not succumb? Because guess what's happening tomorrow? You've got the pro meeting, you've got it's the same routine, right? How do you avoid getting sucked up into that and having that impact your race?
Well, we're all very emotional about our life, our career, about, you know, obviously that race here. So it's hard not to get emotionally detached from it. But I'm trying to be also very neutral to look at it. And this is my job. This is what I have to do. The bike is in the car. Interview at Huggos. I'm gonna jump on the bike. I come back, shower, boom, massage. So I have it all lined out. I write it down, and I'm not doing appointments. My wife is doing all that stuff. And if you can't fit it in, if it doesn't make sense, I cannot do it.
Yeah.
And it is very important, but, you know, to be honest, I'm also in a very lucky position in terms of sponsors and in terms of being safe for the next couple of years, and I don't need to stress so much. I just focus on the job now. So
after 25 years in this, do you still love it?
Not every day.
Yeah.
Of course I love it. That's why I'm doing it. I have to be really selective with the races that I'm doing. I pick out the races that make sense to race for me, for my personal condition, in terms of everything. So I'm very analytic about everything and analyze every race before and after if it makes sense. And well, Hawaii is the biggest race as of now. So I'm here, and that has to be top form. And Roth was also a very, very big race for me this year, and I performed, and ITU was number 3, and I performed with a medal there as well. So so this is the last big dance for this year. So yeah.
So after this race, are you done for a little bit, or do you
for
have
the real racing? I'm done. Again, it all depends on the point system.
Yes.
And now with 8,000 points here, it's a little bit different. But I might validate to be free for next year,
so
and then I need to go back to Roth, sub 750. I promised coach, so I have to go back. You know.
So winning Roth. I mean, when we look at our sport and we look at the history of the sport and the biggest races to win, you just knocked off, you know, arguably the second biggest race in terms of prestige in history that there is to win. That has to give you a lot of confidence, but at the same time, you know that Hawaii is Hawaii, and
it gives me goosebumps at the moment. But yeah, I mean, Roth and Hawaii were my dreams, and one is checked off with the very first attempt. Hawaii is, for whatever reason, Hawaii is so special, and it's. I mean, we know the reasons. That sounded terrible. I mean, like,
you're spot on.
You know, it's Hawaii, so it makes it so special because there's so many different factors in here. It's not just a race.
Right.
It's not just an Ironman. I mean, you have to be really on top of your game mentally as well as physically to perform here. But then all the hype, all this new stuff, every sponsor is going to give you new stuff the days before the race, and you have to wear it. And so there's so much other influences, you know. So it's not just you go to a race and perform. So I think that makes Hawaii very special, but also unique, you know.
How many times is this in Hawaii for you? What
fifth time. Yeah.
Fifth time.
We call it 5th attempt.
Yeah, yeah.
And all sub. You know, 10.
Yeah, do you remember when Tim
DeBoom
10 was 10th that one year, and the next year he was
won
first?
No, I think he won 10th. Yeah, no, 10th.
Yeah, because remember Peter
he
won. Sort of
leapfrogged.
No, Peter was I think second or third, and then Tim leapfrogged him, and then Peter won.
No,
He trained
Peter
with
won
him.
before him.
Anyway, we got to look back at
got a
that.
fight going on here?
Because no, because
Peter won in,
statistically, when you look at how folks do the years previous, it's very rare that you get people out of the top 5 to first, but it has happened before, and I'm pretty sure DeBoom did that. I'll have to
Tim
look,
was 10th, Peter won, and he was like, wait, I've been training with this guy.
Right,
and
but then
he won.
didn't
Then Tim
in
came
the
and
following year.
finished.
So
the mental
10th to
component.
first.
Exactly.
There you go.
Okay.
So 10th last year.
No pressure,
no
right?
pressure.
Give it to the Luxembourgish guy.
Let's give it all sorts of blood.
No, there are a bunch of people that have a little bit more pressure than me.
Sure.
So I can still blame it on the injury now and stuff. I'm still behind,
hand
but
a
I'm
year
not.
ago.
So I don't know.
I had a broken
we'll
hand
find
last
out.
year, yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
So
still
if you-
behind from that, and the beard, the drag.
See, yeah.
Oh.
See,
Are you going to shave that?
A little bit shorter, like I'm looking at the camera, man. Maybe
By
something
the way,
like that.
Gaff's,
huh?
yeah.
You know?
Gaff has that cool
Something
look
like
going.
that,
Yeah, see?
I actually wanted to color it in silver, but it makes me look
Nice.
old, and so we didn't do it.
I would color it in gold. You don't want to be silver. You
Oh,
want
that
to
would
be win.
be.
Yeah.
Pink would also be nice, right?
That would be.
I mean, that reminds me of Ferris when he won here. He had a beard and
How
he
do we
didn't
get from
shave
pink
at
to
all.
speedos?
To Ferris.
Yeah,
well,
to
no,
Ferris.
because of the hair. He didn't shave. You talk
Oh,
about
yeah.
not shaving. Maybe that's
Well,
a good
but
idea.
we used a speed suit, so it's all covered.
Ah.
I mean, I guess he's shaving his legs. I actually trained with him in Tucson. It's pretty funny. We had a great time in Tucson training together, and
Is he fun to train with?
He's actually he's tough on himself. He's a good training partner.
Wow, you're
was
so
this
consistent
your
here.
first time in Tucson, or have you been there before?
They got bumpy roads, man.
Yeah,
and it was hot, 110 degrees.
So did you go up Mount Lemon?
I did a few times.
Gates Pass?
Jeez, man, that's hard. That's hard.
Nice.
Gates
Good
Pass, I
stuff.
like that very much. A little loop there in the back.
Yeah.
It was my first time in Tucson. The pool is amazing. The running is great.
Yeah.
Thanks to Leander, I even had a treadmill at house in the house, so it was really cool. But the roads really, I mean, it's a little bumpy, you know.
Makes you tough.
Maybe I'm spoiled from Luxembourg.
So
Yeah, no doubt.
as a guy who's a 4-time veteran, and someone like Bevan Doherty comes over here, obviously with a great pedigree, 3-time Olympian, go up silver and bronze medal. But he's coming here, and he came yesterday, and he's like, yeah, it's just another race. I'm going to go out and drive the course a little bit today. What do you think when you hear that?
Given his career, he knows what he's doing.
See?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's smart the way he does it. It's still Hawaii. He doesn't know yet.
Yeah. It's
all I'm
different,
saying.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't it different?
I mean, he convinced with a great performance beginning of the year.
in New
The
Zealand.
rest of the year, I
Yeah.
didn't see that much.
Yeah.
Maybe he's doing the right thing, low key all year,
Yeah.
and then puts the hammer down here on
Yes.
Saturday. He's definitely the underdog. I count in probably not in the top 3, but he's a 4 to 7 guy right now.
Yeah.
in my calculation.
Dark
I think.
horse. Speaking of that, speaking
Yes.
of the
Ooh.
top
Oh, you
3,
want
I mean,
names?
we
Yeah,
got
give us some
Kinley,
names.
we
Come
got
on.
Van Leerd, we got
All right.
Raylert. I mean,
Peachy
Good, I
Cups.
think,
there's a guy named Bockel. I don't know if you've heard it yet.
Jan Sibelsen is going to lead the swim.
Jan
Then Norman
Sibelsen.
Stadler is going to race from the
God.
front,
Wow.
and Mark Allen runs them all
Blast
down.
from
You
the
know,
past.
You
Yeah.
do go
So-
back long
yeah.
enough to race with all those guys.
I did actually. Jeez, 25 years, man.
And I love the fact that you've got the Olympic ring tattoo.
Oh, yeah.
So-
I'm proud of that.
so
That
do you
was
get-
amazing.
should be.
Hey,
Do you do
that's-
the M dot on this side when you win that?
Ooh, I don't know.
How long did you lead that race?
30 minutes.
33 minutes.
33 minutes.
3 minutes.
There's a
Saturday.
great YouTube. You got to watch it.
So the best thing is, imagine, you know,
Did you remember that the hand clap we did? You know, with Axel Seabrook. It's a good friend of mine. We
Oh,
raced in the
yes.
German Bundesliga together, and we raced also in the French Grand Prix
Right.
together. And then we meet each other out there in Beijing in the front, you know.
Yeah.
And just before transition, I passed him and I'm Axel. Merci. Chuck, chuck. And so they gave me a hand clap, and I was on camera. And so they
Yes.
played it as a fair play thing. They played it over and over. I saw it like 70 times a day running in the Olympic Village, and it's like, look at that guy. That's us, man.
That's cool.
Freaking cool.
well, and what's great is down the line when you got your family, and you bring everybody in and say, I want to show you the Olympic video, and just have it end, about 3 miles into the run? When you're leading.
They passed me, and I guess I wasn't mature enough at that point in my career to keep going, because it was all or nothing. And you know, after putting all my cards into the bike, I knew I was gonna be tired and hurting for the run. But if we would have had 2 minutes, you know, it would have been a totally different game. But it was not. So we had 50 minutes. I was past at 3.5 kilometers.
Yes.
So I had my little piece of glory, and but I finished 25th, so that's not a great result.
But that's
Still,
why you
it
get
puts
rid of
you
that
on-
part of
puts
the
you on
video.
map, yeah.
You get rid of the only show the video up until you're leading.
I know.
Off the bike,
And
the
then,
hand clasp.
oh man, the
tip
coverage
broke.
went down.
You can check it out, the rest of it online. That's all I got. I was leading.
And I was actually winning, but
they showing you my rings? I got the rings here. Yeah, I love that. Hey, Dirk, thank you so much for taking time.
Thanks. Always fun with you
us.
guys. Appreciate that.
Always love that. Thanks. Dirk Bockel has been our guest again. 2013 edition of Breakfast with Bob and Paul. We are brought to you by Monster Eye Sport, the athlete's headphones. Hey, Heidi, do we have a little present for my man? Oh!
Birthday time.
It's a birthday present. A little $50 gift certificate from Huggos.
Yeah. Thank you.
You come back to Huggos to celebrate your win.
Thank you very much.
That. And Mr. Poncho Man, can you take us out?
Happy birthday
to you.
Oh, yeah. That's nice, Babbitt.
I like that.
Happy birthday. Thank you very much. To you.
Yeah.
Ironman champion and Roth in the same year.
birthday,
dear Dirk Bockel.
Legend of Luxembourg.
Happy birthday to
Well, look at that voice, man. Jeez. Amazing. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Poncho Man, you're a legend. Woo!
Thank you.